This week on Losers of Initiative. I thought you said O'Clock. And
well, you
also,
don't want to know what I do.
And also, why is it my job to make O'Clock do that?
Because you guys have like a weird bond.
Elden bond.
Guys are over there rubbing walls together and stuff.
More like rubbing against walls.
Yeah. They're just cats.
All right, so the altar with the spooky faces kind of stretching out and retracting back in. They have grimaces and looks like if there was sound, they would be crying out in pain, but there's no sound.
And the faces are on the altar, like itself?
On the sides, all around the sides of the altar itself.
Anything like on the altar?
Well, you're like I said, you're
like
still...
as I'm coming up, like because I'm gonna continue approaching.
Okay,
but
so,
like as it comes within eye line.
So you get to the top step to where you can see on top of the altar, and you're probably 5 feet away from it now, and you see with the light now you can see that it's very old stone. Your dwarven ability is to kind of recognize age of things like that. And this is a very old place, like way before the giants were here, most likely. So, and you see on top of the altar that it's got stains on it. You can't really tell. They're just sort of a grayish stain now. But, horrible ideas enter your mind of what might have caused those stains. But right, there's no bowl, there's no like candelabras or incense holders or anything. It's just it's void of all ornamentation on top. Just a smooth black slab with some very, very ancient stains on it.
Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit closer, probably like 2 feet closer.
Okay.
And can I like tell what the stain is, like the closer I get, or not at all?
You're not going to be able to tell what made the stain, because it's hundreds, if not 1,000 or so years old.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm just instantly assuming this is like a sacrificial altar, probably blood, and nothing else in the general area, like knives or a cabinet or anything?
Nothing whatsoever. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me there, Ovac.
12.
Okay. So, yeah, you're looking around on the altar for anything, and you don't see anything other than, the stains. As you got up real close to it, the faces stopped doing their thing. They're not there anymore.
It's like they know that I'm close, kind of a thing. I'm going to get closer.
Okay, so you're right up. You could put your hands on top of the altar now.
Okay, I do it.
You are right.
I put my hands on.
Okay, it's very cold.
What kind of just stone? Like feeling it? What kind of stone was it?
Very smooth marble. It's a very smooth marble, black.
Gotcha. So I'm just gonna turn to the group and I'm gonna, guys. There's no worry here. The faces have gone.
Okay, and Zerosi, you and Oaklock kind of turn as he gets your attention. Guys, you both turn and look. And Zerosi, you see sort of on the other side of the altar, because he's standing like on the room side of this altar. Behind the altar, on the wall side of the altar, as you turn to look, as he says his thing, there was like a ghostly humanoid shape. Just for a split, like it was there for a second, and then it just poof, it's like gone, like it evaporates really quickly behind him.
So was it like when he was facing us, it was there, and when he turned back, it disappeared, or?
Well, he hasn't turned back. He's facing you, saying what he said, and you turned, and it almost was there, and then as you turned to look at it, it sort of, I don't know, noticed that you turned to look at it, I guess, because it disappeared very quickly. Like
almost caught it more out of the corner of my eye as I turned than actually seeing
Correct.
Grug no see faces. What's Ovac talking about?
Maybe you should come closer and you can look at it.
But Grug, light the room from here.
How far away from the altar am I now? About halfway or more?
Yeah, the room itself,
Two-thirds?
I think I said the room itself is about 60 foot long and about 30 foot wide. And you're about the halfway mark. So you're about 30 feet from the altar, 30 feet from the entrance, roughly, but against the north wall. Whereas Grug is also 30 feet from the altar, 30 feet from the entrance, but he's like in the middle of the room.
Okay, and Ovak is still facing us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna turn towards Oaklock, but as I do so, I'm gonna like see if I can see anything out of the corner of my eye as I turn away, and see if like that figure comes back.
Okay. It does not.
Okay.
And Oaklock is, looking at Ovak.
Oh well, then somebody's looking at the altar.
Right. Ugh. Okay, so what do you do?
Since I don't see anything of importance, I guess, right now, I'm gonna kind of circle back around the other side of the altar.
Okay. So you're kind of visually giving it a visual pat down?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk around it and pat it down with my eyes.
I'm gonna continue doing like seeming like I'm continuing to inspect the wall, but still paying attention.
So you're like half-ass inspecting the wall. Really, your attention is over altar way.
Yeah.
All right.
Grug, light the room.
Do you say anything to Oaklock, or he's like, this is an evil place, but I think we must continue our search.
Oh yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, I will mention something about, I think I spotted something, but it seemed like it noticed me spotting it. So let's.
You believe we are not alone here, then?
Yeah. So keep attention.
Okay. So since it is very quiet in this room, everything that Zerosi is telling Oaklock, you both hear. Ovak and Grug both hear.
Oh well. Would I have said it loudly then? I don't know.
Well, even a whisper is going to carry. I mean, you got smooth stone walls and quiet.
Zerosi, what do you mean there's a spirit that was behind me?
I don't mean anything. Just kidding.
You trying to use me as bait?
I do believe that I saw something behind the altar when nobody was looking that.
And he's telling you this right as you're rounding to go behind the altar.
You couldn't have told me this like, I don't know, 15 seconds ago?
You weren't rounding the altar then, so I thought you would be fine.
Okay, so I'm talking to him as I'm turning.
Okay. All right. You're focusing your attention on the altar, the floor at the altar, the sides of the altar, the top of the altar, right there. Kind of keeping an eye on Zerosi and the altar as he's telling you. They're like, okay. So yeah, you go around and you act. It's the other side. It looks just like the front side. There's no ornamentation or anything on it whatsoever.
I just don't think anything's gonna really happen unless we sacrifice someone.
Grug say, Neeb, come here.
If I do see something out of like the corner of my eye, I'm ready because I can see enough. Just instant magic missile.
Okay. Grug, you feel something brush your shoulder.
Which shoulder?
Could be a wind. Your right shoulder. You have your right arm up holding the coin.
Right.
And yeah, something like brushes your shoulder, bicep area. Almost like it was very light, like a wind blowing across it, but just right there.
Yeah, Grug's gonna do a little yelp.
little screamy.
Grug feel something touch shoulder. And then he's gonna slowly start backing up
away
to where Zerosi is.
Well, you guys are
Pretty
parallel,
close.
right?
Pretty close.
He's just 15 feet
Yeah,
to the wall.
To the wall, yeah. So he's gonna so his front is facing where the right shoulder was.
So sidestepping on your way to Zerosi?
Yeah.
Okay.
With Grug doing that, he doesn't scare easy, in my opinion, so I'm gonna circle back around and go towards him.
What if it closes the door and we're locked in here forever?
At least Neeb is safe.
Good call.
How selfless of you.
Yeah.
So, just another FYI, because the coin, the light source, was in the middle of the room, the pillars in the room were casting deep shadows. The altar was casting a deep shadow. It's still a shadowy room, and the black stones aren't helping that. But, you have a light source, so.
Something about the word shadow. It seems to shadow or shadow of the shadow. But I didn't see anything brush up against me,
Nope.
and I was dead center.
Yep.
Okay.
With how dark these shadows are, then I'm going to go ahead and cast Dancing Lights. And I want to kind of put them in the worst of the shadow spots closest to us to kind of mitigate some of that shadow.
Okay, so you're making how many floating torchlight?
4.
Okay, so your best bet would be like the 3 pillars and then one in the middle of the room, maybe?
Essentially, yeah. Wherever, because we've got a very bright light
Correct.
following him, and I'm just gonna consistently, like I said, wherever the worst of the shadows are that are also kind of centralized around us, and just kind of put them there to mitigate some of the deep shadows.
Okay. So it lights it up pretty well because, yeah, the dancing lights are basically torchlight, which isn't really bright, but because there's 4 of them in the area that you're making them appear, it lights it up pretty well, eliminating all the shadows on your north side of the room. And Grug is happily entering into that lit area.
Yeah,
Okay?
very much so.
So, Ovak, it's really kind of rolling around with what you're doing.
I'm just gonna make my way to the lighted area.
So you're leaving the raised platform, the altar area.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're all standing basically close together now, 5 feet apart or so.
Oh, Grug is right up against Zerosi.
Greg is inside Zerosi.
Yep.
I still think that inspecting the altar more is a good idea, but we can definitely light
maybe
the area
all
really
move
well.
that
and-
way in a lit area. Rather than me just being like a dangling bob out there. And
What I thought dwarves liked like dark cave style, like.
not when there's ghosts around.
Yeah, no, I'm totally down with that. Just kind of moving the dancing lights as we go.
Okay, what's the duration of Dancing Lights?
Given my level, 24 rounds.
Okay. So we're going to say those are non-combat rounds, about 20 to 25 minutes. So you all kind of get together and then have a discussion and decide to go check the altar out all together.
Ooh. Altar. Gather.
All together, okay. So you make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. As you begin going up the
Grug
stairs...
in the middle. Grug wants to be in the middle. He wants to be in the middle.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll lead it.
As you begin going up the stairs, you see the faces come back.
Do we all see him?
You all see them.
See, guys, these faces is what I was talking about earlier.
And Zerosi, you feel that you can actually kind of hear very faint, almost in your mind only, like cries of pain and sorrow and almost a ghostly echoing of these faint cries of pain and sorrow.
Almost as if the altar kind of trapped some part of the essence of that which was potentially sacrificed here. Is the way I take it.
Nah, it's a gateway to hell.
Perfect. But you say when we get to the top of the stairs, the faces stop, Ovak?
Yes, they stopped for me. I don't know about you guys. We should probably get closer.
Okay.
Grug, wait here on the stairs.
I do not think shadows is a good area. We should all stick together.
Well, Grug, see if faces stay, if he stay on stairs, but you go forward.
Okay, so Ovak, Zerosi, Oaklock all go up onto the top level with the altar. Lights are all around you now. Grug, you're about halfway up the stairs, kind of in the middle. You're watching them, but you're also shooting glances behind you because there's nobody behind you now. And your light coin, as bright as it is, still doesn't really light up very well the opposite end of the room. So kind of staring back through this shiny, smooth black with red stone, grand hallway that just kind of dissipates into shadowy darkness at the other end is not. It's kind of unsettling. Mm-hmm. You're not happy to be here, to say the least. Okay, so Ovak, Zerosi, Oaklock, you're on the top floor there with the altar. You're going to inspect some more. I need a D20 roll from everybody that's up top.
A 1.
A 10.
Okay, so both of you, now that it's well lit and you're all up there looking around, you see that the wall behind the altar, near floor level, has sort of an alcove in it. A rounded out. Imagine a really large beach ball if it kind of was on the ground and it pushed into the wall. Sort of a circular niche, circular alcove about that size is on the ground level behind the altar in the wall. And it's dark.
I want to send one of the lights into it.
Okay, so you kind of motion. Everybody kind of stops where they are. Nobody's going near it. You're like, whoa, I didn't see that before. So you send one of the lights down. As the light gets down near it, it just goes out.
Do I still see the faces on the altar?
Yeah, but you guys do not. At the top of the altar, you do not.
Grug still sees faces.
We do not. So that was good for you to stay back there.
Grug say, that's interesting. And then he's going to shimmy up to the altar immediately.
Okay.
But on the front side.
So what would happen potentially if someone with a little bit of a stronger style light spell, like continual light or something, tried to put that into that space?
Hey, Grug, can you put your arm in that hole?
Or just throw the coin, whatever.
Grug say, okay.
Oh, well, wait.
Grug
We're down.
trust Ovak.
No. We're down to 3 dancing lights, and we're talking about putting the only continual light source. I was meaning like a new continual light.
Oh.
So we don't lose our light source.
I mean, I can just cast it again.
Yeah, so just
So
cast it
do
again.
that.
Fine. Do we really want to waste a spell?
Waste. I like it. It's like, we could die. Yeah, but we could waste a spell, too.
Ovak need gold coin.
Yes, I do.
So Grug's going to take out a gold coin and give it to Ovak.
Okay.
I'm going to just cast continuous light on it.
Okay. So now you have 2 gold coins with continual light on them.
Ooh.
Grug's happy. He has
Throw it in there.
2 light coins. Oh, okay.
Okay. I just toss it in there.
Whip it in there. Okay, it gives off light all the way till it kind of hits the plane of the wall there. And as soon as it does, gone.
Because I feel like it might be like an anti-magic wall.
Grug thinks you waste a higher level spell.
Okay, let's do it.
Super continual light. Oh, hold up. Greg's going to have a thought. What about,
Oak lock?
he doesn't have anything on. Because, like, I'm thinking if you reach your arm in there, I have a ring of protection, my bracers, like, if it dispels all that shit. He doesn't have anything on at all.
You could always just take it off if you're going to stick your arm.
Well, right. But he's also an NPC that's sacrificable. Sorry, that was my real point. But you know what I mean? See if he'll do it.
Okay, I'm gonna say he's back. He's got the light held up
Right.
correctly.
Right.
I'm gonna let Ovak know so that you can step away if you want. I'm gonna cast Anti-Magic Shell, which has a range of 0. I can't put it on anyone but me. And then I'm gonna step towards the blackness. But I don't have to enter it. If it affects it, it'll take effect before I get there.
So Oak Lock is confused. He's like, What is it that you're doing, Zorosi? Casting Anti-Magic Shell.
Anybody who is within 12 feet of me, all magical items and magic in general will cease to affect.
Cease to function.
Cease to function
Ugh, Grug's going to back up.
during the use of this. But I need light to be able to reach.
Grug only has magic light, so...
Okay.
And then you have low light vision, so can't you just put the dancing lights 12 feet away or
Yeah,
13?
Well, yeah,
that was his plan.
Yeah, that's his plan.
Gotcha.
Kind of put him up high near the ceiling and 13 feet away from him.
Gotcha.
So they're shining light down.
Okay. Then I'm getting 14 feet away.
Okay, so you guys are basically at the bottom of the stairs then. Bottom of the raised where the stairs begin is about 15 feet from the wall. Okay.
And I'm casting my only 6th level spell.
I am not familiar with Anti-Magic Shell. I know its basic uses. What is it that you're planning to do here?
My plan is to see if this space is magic that can be dispelled by the radius of Anti-Magic Shell. We can tell that we cannot see into it. If dispelling whatever magic is preventing that allows us to see in, then we can assess the situation accordingly.
Very well.
And all space within 12 feet of me will have all magic cease to function for the duration of the effect.
Okay. So Oaklock's going to go with Ovak and Grug then.
Okay.
And you're going to cast it and move toward...
Yep. I'm gonna watch it. It's a 12-foot radius.
Okay.
So
pretty much right as you cast it, if you're up by the altar, as soon as you cast it, everything's within the 12-foot radius. The altar's within the 12-foot radius, the alcove's within the 12-foot radius.
Tell me if you still see the faces after I cast this.
We'll do.
They're off the stairs, so they don't see the faces.
Yeah, we can't be close enough.
No, he said he was still on the stairs.
No, we moved further away.
No, to get outside of the range of your 12-footness, they have to be off of the stairs.
That's fine.
Okay, so you cast the spell. Vroom. What you immediately notice is you're not afraid. The sort of the eerie feeling, the dread, the feeling of dread and hopelessness or despair or whatever, that was really kind of always there for you in this room so far, it's gone. Immediately goes away. Immediately.
Okay.
The second thing you notice is a scream, a yell.
All of us?
All of you hear a yell that sort of erupts into many yelling and screaming from back in the orc room.
Now we gotta fight all our friends.
So does it sound like it was screaming that just now suddenly we can hear, or the screaming started at that point?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I guess your best summation would be that it started now, because you hear like one orc scream and then a couple, and then now it's like a whole bunch, sort of like a growing, cascading effect of yells and stuff.
I instantly turn around and I yell for Neeb.
And now you start hearing like sound of fighting.
Do you guys notice the fear, the sense of the room kind of gone now? It's just a room.
Grug's gonna stop and think for a second.
No, you're still scared.
Well,
no, I still feel afraid.
The reason I was wondering was because if it was emanating from the altar...
Yeah, no, I thought about that. Grug still feel the same.
Do I see anything in the alcove?
Blackness.
Are you going to reach in there real quick? Well,
No!
Does the fighting...
Grab my coin.
Does the fighting sound like it's getting closer?
No.
Okay.
It sounds like there's a fight in the big room. And Ovak, you yelled for Neeb.
Yep.
And he immediately comes in as if he was standing basically right at the end of the hall where we couldn't see him, like he's peeking around into the room kind of thing. But he immediately comes in.
We should probably move towards the fight.
Like, oh yay! He apparently doesn't care about the fighting noise that's coming from behind him. What is it, Mr. Ovak?
I was just making sure you're still alive.
Oh, I'm doing fine. There's a bunch of fighting and stuff going on back in the other room, but what's going on in here? What do you need? Do you need me to do something?
No, I need you to tell me who's fighting out there. Who did you see fighting?
I didn't go look.
Well, then
I was,
I told you to go to the area.
I didn't.
Bad boy.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ovak.
Come on, let's go. And I start running towards him.
Running toward the exit.
Yeah.
Grug's going to Grug follow Ovak and just start chasing him down.
Oaklock kind of looks at Zerosi. Shall we go assist these orcs that are fighting amongst themselves, perhaps? Or should we concern ourselves with this mysterious altar?
I believe, though, that information gathering is of utmost importance. Fighting can easily be handled by those two, much as I hate splitting the party.
As I go running out, Zerosi, stay here and try and figure something out.
I believe information gathering is important, so let's continue to inspect this.
Zerosi, right. Grug, follow Ovak. Runs out the door.
Neeb's like, okay.
Come on, Neeb, faster.
Okay. So, Ovak, Grug, Neeb all go down the hallway. The door is still cracked, partly open, which is why you could hear everything. And you emerge back into the big room, the big natural cavern, and you see you emerge back into chaos. You see farther down, sort of at the other, because remember it's a very large natural cavern chamber. Okay, and it seems like on the other end, you're on the south end of this big chamber. On the north end of the big chamber is a large scuffle, a fight. So it looks like the the orcs are all banded together fighting against really large lizard-looking guys.
Now, lizard men they were talking about.
Right. The lizard guys aren't using weapons or anything. They're all like, rah, but they are much larger and in better shape, I guess you would say, than the orcs. The orcs outnumber them about 3-2.
How many lizard men are there?
Well, there's about 24 orcs, I'm going to say. So there'd be about 16 lizard men. Roughly. Those are,
At a quick glance. Grug's pretty good at quick glances.
20 to 25 orcs, 12 to 17 lizard men, roughly.
We assist.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
So we're going to rush over there as soon as we can.
Fighting shoulder to shoulder with orcs?
Yep.
Grug's going to get out his
So,
shield
let's
and
go ahead
get
and
out
roll
his
initiative.
bastard sword.
I mean, it takes a couple rounds to get over there.
Yeah,
'cause the
as
room
he's
is-
running over there.
The room is very large. So a couple rounds to get over there. And it doesn't look good for the orcs, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that out again.
5.
2.
6. So you arrive just in time to deliver some fresh blows to these lizardy guys. Okay, I need both of you to make a poison saving throw, however.
5.
Okay.
8.
Okay, so you both make it. You notice that it smells really bad.
Over here.
Yeah. These lizard men are obviously exuding some sort of stench or pheromone or something, and it's like, oh, good lord.
Immediately as we arrive, it's not Grug. It's not Grug.
Okay. So, Grug, are you going one-handed and shield?
Yep.
Or?
So take out my shield and my sword as I was running over there.
Right.
And then I'm going to take 2 attacks. Do I get 2 attacks?
Yep.
So 2 attacks on
Just the closest one.
the closest one. Yeah, both on one guy, I guess. Oh, that's a natural 1, which is an automatic miss. And then armor class 1.
Okay, that is a hit.
15 damage.
Okay. Whack. Slash him across his... And he looks very... Actually, they all... You notice that the lizard men, all sort of in concert, kind of notice you guys running up, and they look very surprised. Like, where'd you come from? They're not supposed to have help, kind of thing.
Okay, so I'm going to take 2 attacks at 1. Just run up to 1. That is a miss, and then that is a negative 13.
Yeah, that's it.
So then I do a 15 damage.
Okay. Whack. You hit him. So they are attacking you. Just one is on each of you, because their others are all fighting the orcs. It's this big mass melee. Grug, my best is -3, so miss.
Miss.
And Ovac, horrible misses. Okay, so yeah, they're clawing and biting and kicking, and they're just very, very bestially attacking. The noise, the stench, the confusion of the mass chaos, and the combat is going on. And like I said, the orcs look like they got the lower hand. Just the opposite of the upper hand.
Oh, gotcha.
The lizard men have the
Gotcha.
upper hand. The orcs have the lower hand. Okay, so we're going to go to a new round.
6.
8.
9. Go ahead, guys.
Both attacks, same guy.
Okay.
Armor class -8. Armor class -12.
Hit. Both hits.
I do 32 damage.
Yeah, he's dead. So 2 slices. Whack, whack. Oh, like half cut his head off. He kind of crumbles to the ground, and a large
Grug say, who's next?
sticky mat. Oh, there's no problem. There's next.
I know.
Okay.
He's like in the DMVs. Calling the next person up.
So I'm going to do 2 attacks on the same one.
Grug say blue ticket 27.
-1 and -2.
Both hits.
All right. That is 14 and 16, so 30.
Okay. Easily destroyed him, too. Okay, so now that you guys are up in the melee, spent a couple rounds of melee, you actually see that, like, immediately upon the dropping of those two, there are more of these lizard men behind, and they're just climbing as the dead body of the lizard man's falling. The one behind him is just like climbing over and through him to get at you, and you're like, wait a minute. And then looking beyond, you see that there are more lizard men coming from like the shadows and stuff back behind. Because remember, this was a very large room with the orcs, and they said that there was a couple like natural cavernous hallways leading off that led to what they described as the lizard men area, right? Well, from that area, more are coming in, and you're like, uh-oh, because one-on-one, they're tougher than the orcs. You have a finite amount of orcs that you know of. You have no idea how many of these lizardmen there are, and more are showing up.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of usher to everyone and be like, come this way, come to the dark room. And kind of like funnel, like get everyone behind us running towards that.
Okay, what is your charisma?
It is an 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
Either they don't hear you, they don't understand you, or they're not following your direction, because they're basically standing their ground and getting slaughtered. As you start falling back, you also notice that Neeb is nowhere to be seen.
Neeb! Neeb, where are you?
Screaming out in the middle of combat. All right, so let's go ahead and roll initiative. As you're doing a fighting retreat, fighting withdrawal.
8.
3.
10. Go ahead, guys.
So Grug's gonna see Ovac doing what he's doing, so he's gonna try and help. He doesn't know why.
Right.
As usual.
So fighting withdrawal with
Yeah.
Ovac. Okay.
Yeah. Grug say, orcs follow Ovac and Grug. Grug, me, Ovac, this short man. Grug say.
Do they listen to him?
No.
Damn it. He's got a way better charisma.
Armor class 3, and then armor class -11.
Both hits. Yeah, baby.
That's 12, and then that's 18, so that's 20. 30 damage.
Okay, you actually kill that one outright.
Yeah.
As he climbs over the corpse, as the falling corpse that you just killed of the last round guy, he's kind of climbing up over, and you just slash him and then thrust into his neck and pull your sword out as he collapses on top of the guy he was climbing over. Right.
Grug say, blue ticket 28 now.
Okay, Ovac.
Grug, maybe you, in your own way, try and get them to follow you. And then I'm going to attack at the nearest one.
Okay. Are you still doing a fighting withdrawal?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is a -1 and a -7.
Both hits.
And that is 30 damage.
He is also put to death by your smashy hammer of vengeance. Alrighty, so we're going to attack you. You actually notice that they are coming around, so now there are 2 on each of you. Ovac, -5.
Hit.
And 2 -6s.
2 hits.
So one of them bit you, and the other one's hit you, and the other one hit you with his claws. So you take 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. So they don't do a whole heck of a lot of damage, but their strength is in their overwhelmingness. Quick assessment as you're fighting here, you figure that there's about 40 of them.
Okay.
All right, so now we've got on Grug. I hit -5. No, that's -7, -3, -2.
1 hit.
-7's hit, and that's a claw. 2 points of damage. That takes you to 72, and so Ovac, you're at what, 76?
Yep.
You're at 76 because you had, after you rested, you had cast heal on yourself, which
Yep.
took you to 82 of 84. So
Yeah.
you're
Feeling a little better.
yeah. So yeah, you're fighting. You're like they're dying pretty easily to you guys because you're level 12, but to the orcs. Yeah, it's not as easy, and now they're outnumbering the orcs like 2 to 1, 3 to 1 almost. And the orcs seem to not. You don't know why, but they're not listening to you, and it's making you angry, but they're not listening to you. If you continue a withdrawal this round as well, you will basically separate yourself from the orcs. So at this round is when you have to make the decision. Do not fall back and basically form a get in with the orcs, or continue to fall back and leave the orcs to their own poor choices in life.
Are they just all like spread out?
No, they're kind of in a
chaos, or in like a
they're kind of in a
formation?
group. They've been the ones that were separated from the group are dead.
I was gonna say if we could get them all like back to back, kind of form like a circle.
That's kind of what the position that they're already in.
Oh, okay.
They're forming a ball and fighting off the waves of the lizard people.
I will let Grug decide what we do.
Oh, yeah, that's a smart choice. And I say we just keep fighting and helping them.
Okay. Let's do it.
There's nothing we can do back in the room anyways. And then
But then
if
we
they
won't be-
overrun the orcs and they take over this whole cavern area, we're going to have to fight them to get out of here.
But we get to fight them like one or two at a time down a tunnel or at the cracked doorway rather than...
Because if it keeps swarming and overwhelming, you're going to have, like 4 or 5 of them on you.
Oh, you want to get them into the room?
That's all I was trying to do was like funnel, like get back to a point where we're not being surrounded.
Yeah, say to hell with the orcs if they're not going to follow you and get behind. Like, ideally, what Ovak is trying to do is get the orcs to run into the room and then you guys be in the hallway outside of the room, preventing the
Them
lizard
to
guys
come-
from
yeah.
getting at the orc.
Yeah, if they won't listen to us.
But they're
though,
not listening.
how
Yeah,
else-
that's moot because they are not.
Yeah, how else are we going to get them to go there? Push them?
And then it's just the orcs? Is anyone else coming with us? Like, because wasn't there... What's the crazy dude?
Oh, crazy dude's already dead.
Okay.
Yeah. When you ran into the room to go run and help the orcs, you noticed that Emerson was actually by the wall that you kind of the door. You guys come out of that hall, that doorway. Boom.
Yeah.
That was blocked. He's basically against the wall by that door, just like hiding. He is not a fighting person.
Okay.
What about,
Gorzag and Marl.
yeah.
Yeah, they're with the orcs fighting. Both of them are still up.
All right, Grug's going to use his relationship with Gorzag.
Okay.
Grug said, Gorzag, move you and troops into room. Ovak and Grug fight off the rest of lizard men.
Okay. He either doesn't hear you, doesn't listen to you, or just blatantly doesn't care.
Grug say, Gorzag.
Initiative, please.
7.
9.
10.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue backing up because they're just swarming. And it wasn't much, but if I take, I don't even know, 10 more hits like that, then I'm down.
Okay. Grug's just going to retreat with Ovak, I guess.
It's not a retreat. It's a fighting withdrawal.
Okay. Grug is going to fighting withdraw with Ovak.
Okay, so I got a 10 for my initiative. You all want initiative. Go ahead.
I'm going to attack. That's a -9 and -12.
Okay, both hits.
That is 32 damage.
Another one bites the dust.
Grug's going to do a fighting withdrawal with Ovak. So armor class -5 and armor class -1.
Both hits. That one doesn't have a lot of hit points, so it's dead.
Aww, 25 damage.
Yeah, it's dead.
Yay.
Another one down. Okay, but like I said, when one drops, it seems that 2 take his place, kind of thing. So we're gonna go ahead and attack you guys some more, but you are not getting surrounded. So you're falling back at a rate where it seems like 2 are all that can really come to bear on you, even though there are far, far more than that. Ovak. One completely misses. The other one hits. Best hit is armor class -4.
That's a hit.
And the other one is -1.
Miss.
So, this one. 4 points of damage.
All right.
Okay, and then on Grug, we've got that one. Best armor class is -3. That one is a natural 20, and then the others are misses.
Okay.
So Grug gets hit again for 1 point of damage. Plinky, plink, plinky, plink, plinky, plinky. Okay, and now you've separated yourself from the orcs. The orcs are completely surrounded. You estimate they're outnumbered about 4 or 5 to 1.
That's not good odds.
And you back yourself up to where you're at the entrance to the hallway to the dark room, and you notice that Emerson is still kind of in the room, like going, ah! He's like, oh my god, I'm gonna get killed. Do you give him direction?
No. The Grugs say, Emerson, get in room, as we back up.
I thought the room was bad.
The Grugs say, not right now.
It's safer than what's coming towards us. Get in.
Good point. And he darts into the hallway, leading to the room.
We want to stand and fight off a couple at the hallway, or at this point, it's pretty much irrelevant.
Still no sign of Neeb.
Yeah, that was my other thought.
I'm just gonna let out another yell for Neeb to come here. Neeb, come to me.
Get to the chopper.
All right, Zerosi. So you and Oaklock are there, And, you see the Grug and Ovak run off to the sound of the fighting. And you guys both kind of mutually decide to stay and investigate what the hell this thing is. He's like, I don't have any items or magic items that would be affected by your anti-magic shell, but I feel that anything, we may not notice any changes if I go in. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you can report, like if I notice a change, I can ask if you see the same.
Exactly. So what do you want me to do, since I can't really investigate the altar or the alcove?
Well, he already backed out of.
Yeah, he was down at the bottom of the stairs with Ovak and Grug.
So is there a way I can position myself to where he could be on the stairs and not be within?
Not if you're at the altar or the alcove, because those are centrally located.
But I can be somewhere on the top level to where the altar is covered, but not all of the stairs.
Yes.
So to start with, because I still see that the alcove is just still pitch black.
Correct.
The light is not penetrating it.
Correct. The only difference you notice is that you're not afraid. That obviously sense of magically induced fear is gone.
Okay, so I want to do that, and I want to ask him to step onto the stairs and see if he still sees the faces appear.
Okay. So he gets up on the stairs, and he's like, I do not see the faces.
Okay, so the faces are generated from the altar itself. We've already determined that the sense of fear is on the room, I guess, because those outside of the circle already still sense it. So the alcove seems to be the biggest enigma because the light still does not have any effect, even with the anti-magic. Do you have ideas also for what?
Well, if it is preventing light from coming out, yet it is not being disabled by your anti-magic shell, one of two things. Regardless of how improbable, if you eliminate all other possibilities, whatever remains, regardless of however illogical, must be the truth. And that means it is either a type of magic that is not affected by your anti-magic shell, which to me may be on the deity level, or the effect that is causing it is not magical. Well, I would be willing to investigate further, closer inspection of this alcove, but I do not wish to enter into the anti-magic shell.
Even though you have nothing that would be affected by the anti-magic shell?
Correct.
Can you explain why? Because that's obviously affecting something in the room.
I do not wish to be under the influence of something negating magic. I myself am a caster.
I just want to make sure that we've collectively thought of anything that we can use the anti-magic shell towards investigating before I release it, because I cannot cast this again. Beyond that, I am totally okay with allowing it to
Well, what is the duration of this spell?
The duration is 1 turn per level, so 12 turns.
So it'll last 2 hours, and it's only been 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops.
Yeah, I think for the sake of allowing us to continue any further investigation that may benefit from this, I'm not going to cancel it, but what I can do is move away from the space and allow you to pass around the shell and investigate this closer.
Very well. Well, if I may request that you keep at least one of the dancing lights above, so I can see.
Oh yeah, I'll keep 2 of the 3 over the dark space.
Okay, so he's like, oh, very well. So you kind of back down the stairs. You go to the side, I imagine, so you can kind of see in case something happens to him. You'll be able to see him. Because if you go down the front, the altar will be blocking where he's at.
I want to go wherever I can to see as best I can.
So you go, you go down the side, I guess is the best way to say it. You're kind of in the corner of the room, northwest corner of the room, and he's on the west wall looking at the hole. And you see him, you back down, he kind of goes up, and he feeling the wall around it and searching and looking for stuff. And he's very quizzical look on his face as you see him actually move his hands in a intricate way and mutter something under his breath, and then wait and look, and nothing happens. And then little look of frustration, and then he starts peering into the thing. He's not reaching in or anything, but you see him. He's really kind of investigating, looking into the blackness of the alcove, and he just kind of stops moving.
Just all together, just kind of freezes.
All together freezes.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and move forward and allow, while he's not paying attention to me, and allow the shell to encompass him for a moment.
Okay, you gonna do that?
Yeah.
No means no.
So as you're like looking at him, and he's like just kind of frozen. You don't say anything. You just and so you start inching your way forward until your best guess is he's inside the anti-magic shell.
Yeah.
Okay. Almost immediately, he still doesn't move, but you see his skin start to sort of like wrinkle, and his hair start to turn sort of grayish and start thinning, and you see his sinew gets a little tighter but still wrinkly, and his eyes start kind of sinking in, and then his fingernails seem to grow a little bit, and then it seems to, his hair gets thinner, his skin gets almost a grayish tint to it as he flumps to the side. And now he's moving again, but he just flumps to the side. He's kind of, you see his breathing is very labored. He looks like a very, very, very old elf.
Okay, so I don't recognize it as anything other than...
No, he looks like
old.
Perhaps he had some sort of magic on him preserving his age, because now he is probably over 1,000 years old.
And if I back up, because things take effect.
So you back up.
Yeah.
You don't see any immediate change, but yeah, he is alive, but he's like, Imagine visiting a 112-year-old human in the hospital. What are they like? Very frail, kind of shaky, can't really see or hear very well. That's basically what you're dealing with now.
Ask him if he found anything in there. Hey, while you're down there, just reach in there real quick.
And at this point, I don't notice anything else in the room. No other people.
No, the sound of the fighting is going on.
Well, yeah.
So you're like, oh shit, what have I done? And you kind of glance over to see. Go ahead and roll a d20.
17.
17. Yeah, you don't notice anything.
So when I moved forward and that started happening, did he still he remain fixated on?
Correct.
He's dead already.
No, but now he's like shaken. Like before he was like frozen. And then after he fell over, because he was too weak to hold himself up, he just kind of collapses.
Yeah, okay.
Now you see him like his arms shaking. He's not staring into the alcove anymore.
I'll dispel this shit, and I'm like, what happened?
There you go. There you go. Blame it on the thing. It's a thing.
Yeah.
I like
okay.
it.
Well, he can't vocalize a response. His lungs are too weak to speak. Well, it would seem. I mean, you're no doctor.
I'm just trying to see if I have anything that would potentially help with that. I have no healing potions, no healing, nothing. Yeah, I guess I'm going to do my best to, just first aid. Help him.
Okay. So as
he doesn't flatline.
As you're doing that, you notice some movement out of the corner of your eye. Because you're basically on the ground behind the altar, between altar and wall, on the ground with Oaklock. And then you notice some movement coming around the altar, basically like the edge of the altar or something. You look up and you see Neeb. He was peeking around, and you as you look up, you see him dart back behind it.
I'm gonna call out to him. Neeb, you're not supposed to be here. Just move towards the wall. Move away from the altar. See what he does.
Sorry, Mr. Zerosi.
What does he do? Does he actually do what I ask?
He comes around the altar to where he's standing there and you can see him, and he just kind of goes and touches the wall. He's like hanging. He's like, is it okay if I just do this? So he's not by the altar, and he's by the wall.
Yeah. And then I'm going to move. I'll give you one of the lights so that you can see, but you have to stay here, and I'm going to bend a wall of ice around him. This is just to keep you safe until we know what's happening, and then just kind of close him in.
Okay. So he's screaming.
I don't care.
Okay.
I cast... Oh, I don't... That's you. Cast silence.
All right, so you guys are fighting, and you know, Emerson, get in the room, and he's like, it's scary. And you're like, it's not as scary as out here. And then he runs into the hall. You're like, good point. He runs down the hallway into the room, and you guys are backing up slowly. You're at the entrance to the hallway.
Are the lizard men still coming?
Yeah. There's probably about 100 or so.
Grug thinks we're probably going to have to close the door.
That was kind of my plan all along. Like,
Grug's too, yeah, Grug's too. It was not Grug's plan.
I'm glad we concur. Let's move.
All right, so we're going to move into the room, and Grug's going to push the door closed.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and you guys are fighting off lizardmen the whole time. It's not a problem, but there seems to be no shortage of them. So as Ovak is fighting the lizardmen, as Grug is closing the door, kind of that teamwork going on.
Poking him with
Ovak does actually take 2 more hits in the process for a total of 3 damage from claws.
Wow.
So 3 more points of damage. And you push the door closed, and it closes with a crunch.
And the scream of a lizard man, maybe?
Yeah.
And a couple of fingers fall off, maybe?
Sure.
On our side of the door. Cool.
Okay.
Bastards.
And it's just dead silence.
Yep. Because it's a very thick stone door slab.
But do we hear Neeb? It's dead silence
Oh, yeah.
from the fight.
Right, you slam the door, and immediately upon the slamming of the door and the silence of the room beyond, the orc room, you immediately start hearing Neeb screaming, "Help! No! Ah!" coming from the room behind you.
I'm going to go running.
Okay. So you run in, and Grug has the continual light coin.
Yeah, I'll take the coin back out and hold it back up.
Okay. And there are also some dancing lights coming from the far end of the room where you do... Actually, yeah, you see Zerosi standing up behind the altar saying something to Neeb to the extent of... You can't really hear it because Neeb's screaming is drowning it out. But apparently there's a big wall. There's a big ice, half circle of ice up against the wall at the bottom of the stairs. On the south side of the stairs, kind of up against the wall.
What is going on in here? Why is my friend trapped in ice?
Your friend didn't leave the room, and I wanted to make sure he was safe, so I just put him away for a minute, and he's freaking out. He's too young to understand that this was for his own protection.
Grug wants to know, did you figure out
And
altar hole?
Oh, and then I'm gonna immediately at that point turn around, ignore the ice, and go back to
they
O'Clock.
can't see O'Clock because
Yeah.
he's on the ground
Well,
behind the altar.
As soon as that interaction finishes, I'm gonna just turn and walk over and continue dealing with. I need your help with this elf.
You're basically standing right above O'Clock, so you just squatch back down on the ground behind the altar.
Okay, I go around the altar and I see what's going on, and I instantly...
Hey, as you were going up the steps, you see the faces reappear, by the way.
Okay, so I get a little creeped out by the faces, and I kind of make a wide berth around.
And you see the oldest elf you've ever seen in your life lying on the ground.
Who is this guy? Where's O'Clock?
This is O'Clock. He stared into the darkness, and this happened.
Oh, jeez. Grug's not looking into darkness, then. Grug don't want to be wrinkled like that.
Did he like touch it or something?
He was investigating it. He looked that way, eyes locked, frozen, and then this.
If this was magically done, I don't know how much help my healing will be.
But any healing to just kind of bring him around to where he can say what he saw.
I'm just going to cure Sirius from my pendant.
Okay, so it's a freebie. Everybody gets one of those free a day.
Okay, I do. What is it? It's +5, so 12.
Okay, I need both of you to roll a d20. You're Zorosi's checking intelligence, and Ovek's checking wisdom.
Okay, I beat it by 17.
I beat it by 7.
Okay, so you both realize that he's not wounded. He's old. Cure does nothing for severely old people.
Grug rolled a 10.
Greg, you hear what they have to say, and you're like,
I'm
you
more
agree.
fascinated with the ice wall right now. Like, I'm guarding Neeb, but really there's nothing. There's a wall
you-
between
You've
saw
seen
the
the
ice
ice wall
wall.
before.
I know.
Right, but you think it's cool every time.
Yeah.
You've seen it many times throughout
Yeah.
your travels. You just think that's one of your favorite Zorosi's.
Yeah. I touch it, I
It's
like
cold,
the cold. Yeah. It's like overly cold,
Yeah.
Can I like communicate with him without like having like just like mind meld or something like that? Can I do something along those lines?
He is conscious. His eyes are, really sunken and half open, not even half open, squinting, and his breathing is labored, and he's got like the old person shakes when he's just kind of sitting there. But you can't tell if he can hear you. You can't tell if he can see you. It's hard to tell.
Okay, so after healing or attempting to heal him and finding out that it didn't do anything, like I'm gonna go over and inspect the little alcove. Stare deeply into it.
You are going to look into the
Yep.
alcove? Really?
Yep.
All right. Well, as you look into the alcove, you see next week we'll find out what happens.
Oh yeah!
There's
I'm
just-
gonna die.
There's just text. That's what the text says.
Why don't you take off your girdle of giant strength and put that in and see if that comes back?
But you have the same thing.
No, I've already wasted one thing.
Oh,
You have done nothing.
Your spell. 1/3 level spell versus a girdle of hill giant strength.
Just stick your damn hand in there. I'm looking at you, Nagi.
I thought you said O'Clock. And
Well, you
also,
don't want him to know what I do.
And also, why is it my job to make O'Clock do that?
Because you guys have like a weird bond.
Elven bond.
Guys are over there rubbing walls together and stuff.
More like rubbing against walls.
Yeah. They're just cats.
This wall's giving me a clue.
Okay.
Is it just me, or does anyone else imagine this spell as like a really deep, nasty hum? Like he's just walking around just like anti-magic everything that's just hum coming from him. You're like,
Yeah, and any magic that enter it's like a bug hitting a bug zapper.
Yeah.
And
It's
then it
like,
turns off.
Jesus.
It turns off.
I'm just really, really curious if these guys still feel the fear and anxiety and stuff.
Say things with words with your
Well,
mouth.
I'm wondering if you guys. I'm wondering.
I mean,
if
you
guys
can
could
wonder
yeah,
that. But
I'm gonna
Yeah,
ask.
you can wonder. Yeah, wonder it. Sure,
Do you-
it's good to wonder it.